Today I am answering 50 wedding photography questions that you submitted to me over Instagram in 10 minutes.
Taylor Jackson,
shooting 67 weddings last year.
Taylor Jackson, welcome.
So Taylor, you are well known in this community. You're an amazing photographer.
Hello and welcome to the month of May. I want to do a quick announcement here. This month I'm going to be doing portfolio reviews for anyone that's part of Instagram. So if you join Instagram, you can there's instructions over there on how I can come to your website and I can give you a review of both your portfolio and your Instagram if you choose, or just your Instagram and not your website, whatever you want. Today I'm going to be answering 50 questions that were submitted over Instagram. And it's kind of the full, I would say, I summarized everything from longer questions. I like Instagram questions because you have to compact your what the question is, and I refined it even down further from there. So sorry if I kind of misconstrued your question to be something a little bit simpler, I guess, for this video. So let us begin. Number one, RAW versus JPEG. RAW with JPEG. JPEGs go to the internet for cloud upload, and then RAWs stay on my 2 drives at home. Full frame or crop? I am still full frame. Nothing wrong with crop, specifically for shooting Fuji. I think that's totally fine and reasonable. 3, mirrorless or DSLR? I am still on the DSLR train for at least a little while longer, but mirrorless has a lot of great, like that's what I'm recording this on right now. There's a lot of good cameras out there, and you really won't go wrong with anything that's been produced really in the last, I would say, 5 years. Autofocus mode, AFC, pretty much all day, with just AFS if I'm maybe in an environment where there's dancing and a lot of movement happening kind of after dark. At that point, I want to set my focus point and let the action happen within it, and I know where it's at and I can hold it easier that way. Autofocus, single point or group. Autofocus, I always use single point. Yeah, I always do. I can't think of a time that, maybe for travel photography, but for weddings, I'm always single point AF. Number 6, primes or zooms. I shoot primes pretty much all of the time, although zooms recently, the Nikon Z6 24-70 has really impressed me, so we'll see what happens in the future with that. What lenses are in your bag on a wedding day? I have either a 24 or 35, 1.8, 1.4, as well as an 85, and for ceremonies, my 70-200 always. My favorite lens is my 85. I would shoot on that all day if I could. Number 9 is most used lens, and I would say that is probably the 85 or the 70-200 for ceremonies, so I use it for pretty much every single ceremony. Number 10, print company. I use Fineo for their playbooks. I think they're great, cost-effective books that you don't have to charge $2,000 for, and my clients, I think, appreciate that. Print company, I haven't printed in a long time myself. I print from my gallery system, but I used to use WHCC, and I had nothing but good things to say about them. Number 12, camera bag. I use a Peak Design Messenger on wedding days, and then I use their Peak Design Everyday Travel Backpack for pretty much everything else. I like those two. I also use the tripod as well whenever I need a tripod. Camera strap, I use Peak Design, the Slide Light, the little guy, as well as, I don't have my camera here, but I also like those thin little kind of leather style straps. Are cameras with 2 card slots important? Cameras, I will only shoot wedding days with cameras with 2 card slots, which means I don't yet use the Z6 as my main camera for any wedding days. Which card company? I would say most of my cards are Lexar cards. I use Lexar, SanDisk is fine too, Sony's great. I use Sony Tough cards for SDs, I like them a lot. Which hard drives? Hard drives, I use Seagate Backup Plus, or no, Expansion. I use Seagate Expansion drives as my backup drives at home, and then I have working drives that are solid state. A question that's not on this list is solid state or regular spinny drives. I would go solid state for your working drives, so everything's just a heck of a lot faster. 17, laptop or desktop. I use a laptop when I'm out on the road. This is the Mac Pro. It is totally capable of absolutely everything, even more capable than my desktop, but I like having a place that I can go and I can sit with my hard drives organized. So desktop for main work. Mouse or tablet, number 18. I would say primarily a mouse for editing. Landscape images, I get more into a tablet where I can actually draw and make corrections more specific and kind of hide my edits a little bit more. 19, Tamron or Sigma. I use a lot of Tamron lenses because they have VC built into them, and Sigma is great as well, but they don't really make as many lenses with vibration control in the lens, and as a digital SLR shooter still, I kind of need that for video production. Number 20, wide open or stop down. I shoot everything wide open. 21, manual or autofocus. I use manual focus for everything. In the past years, I've been using manual for video autofocus, so I'm doing a highlight film, and this year that might change because I'm going to be using the Nikon D780. Number 22, which picture profile? I use standard picture profile, and then Actually, next question. So number 23, dynamic range boost. I use de-lighting in camera, so that means that whenever I'm recording video files, that it's kind of giving it a bit of a dynamic range boost. So that goes outside of the profile, but I don't want the profile to change too much. I'm happy with standard and Nikon colors. How many megapixels is enough? Question number 24. I would say, funny that it's 20. Question number 24. I would say that 24 megapixels is more than enough for a wedding day. Even 20, I'd be totally happy with. Number 25, manual versus aperture priority. I will shoot manual pretty much all of the time. Aperture priority is fine too, but I find for post-production, shooting manual, you can just get through everything a heck of a lot faster. Number 26, auto ISO, question mark. I do not use auto ISO. I, again, do everything as good as I can in camera so that I'm able to speed up my post-production a little bit later. It takes more mental energy on the day, but I find that it's worth it because it's more fun to be at the wedding, have mental strain, than to be stressed out trying to edit your things. Manual or auto white balance, I'm happy with Nikon auto white balance, but I use manual, I would say, most of the time, unless I'm in a very strange condition that I don't want to go in and tweak the actual tint settings. Number 28, how many packages? I have 4 packages because I shoot photo and video coverage. If you only shoot photo, then you're probably good with 3, maybe even 2. Delivery time, number 29. I would say 4 weeks on average for both highlight films and my photography. Number 30, deposit. I do 50% to secure the date and then 50% 2 weeks before the date. Number 31, discounts for non-Saturdays. I will kind of price accordingly based supply and demand kind of style, that if they're getting married on a Tuesday afternoon and it's an hour long and it's 5 minutes from my home, I'm gonna make that a pretty attractive deal for them. Number 32, final payment due. As I said, 2 weeks before the wedding is contract when it's due, but that changes from time to time. I'm not too heavy on that, but it has to be paid before the wedding date. I hate chasing people after the wedding or asking for money at the end of the day. It's just not a good customer experience. 33, post or photojournalism. I would say there's a blend in the middle there, that I would primarily be photojournalism, but there is a post element to all of my days, so whatever the middle of that is. Number 34, salon coverage. This is the thing that I'm happy has kind of died, that no one goes to the salon anymore, hopefully, for if you're a photographer, to capture that, because it was weird and never ended up in the album. So I do not do salon coverage any longer. Number 35, how long do you stay? I stay until about 5 songs and dancing, so somewhere from there. Hour of getting ready, 5 songs dancing. I feel like that is more than enough coverage for a good wedding gallery. Number 36, how many backups? I do a lot of backups. I don't even know. I'm gonna say I have 4 or 5 tiers of backups of everything that I shoot. Or if this meant backups physical, like camera bodies, I have 3 cameras with me, as well as a second shooter usually that has 2 camera bodies. Number 37, do you eat? Yes, I eat. I usually eat. And I'm not too sticky about this. I know some people have it in their contract that, like, I must be served first. I don't do that. I just eat whenever I get to it, and I don't care if my food's cold. Number 38, do you back up during the wedding? I do not. Well, I walk backwards, but I don't usually back anything up on the actual wedding day. I leave it all in my camera. I feel like it's easier just to have everything in one spot and then to never let that camera leave your body. But if you're shooting one card slot, I would probably be batching off after every kind of event of the day to some sort of backup drive. Number 39, off camera or on camera flash. I am always on camera flash until I have to go off camera for some specific reason. Number 40, which flash? I use a Godox or Godox V1. Number 41, which stand? I think they're just the newer, the really cheap kind of ones you get on Amazon. I lose them a lot, so I don't want to spend too much money in them. Number 42, flash trigger. I use the XT2, TX2, whatever, it's on the screen now. The Godox one, it's great. It just does everything that I need. Number 43, video light. I use the Godox R1. Again, don't have it with me, but it's a great little tiny video light. And I would suggest that you get that with a speed light rather than trying to buy like off-camera flashes and put that together. Number 44, suit and tie. I do not use a suit and tie when I'm at a wedding. I just wear a nice dress shirt, buttoned up. Number 35, Lightroom or Photoshop. I use Lightroom. I very rarely actually use Photoshop anymore. I used to use Photoshop a lot. Now I don't. Number 46, CMS System, client management software system. I use Honeybook a little bit and then Google a lot, so there's kind of some balance in there. There's a lot of good systems out there, so no disrespect if you use a different one. Number 47, online gallery system. I personally use Pixieset, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about other ones, so maybe do some research right now if you're interested. 48, edit or outsource. I outsource pretty much everything. engagement sessions I do at home, but everything else, wedding day, it's just easier to have someone else do it that's focused on that task all the time. Number 49, editing company. I use Evolve, but Photographers Edit is fantastic, and also Image Salon out of Montreal, Canada is also fantastic if you want to check it. And the last question number 50, advice for wedding photographers. My advice will always be to be in control of your own portfolio, to go out and start making your own portfolio right now, because that is the thing that's going to book you work and make your life happiness the most in this industry. That if you create a portfolio that you want to actively shoot, you find all your friends, you set up the shoots that you want to do, you're going to start booking that work organically over time, and you're going to fill in that portfolio with more images from people that are like you and your friends. And I feel like it's easy enough it's the easiest thing to do to market to yourself. So if you can be actively marketing towards yourself, and you'll grow and you'll evolve in life. But I feel like it's the easiest to kind of market at yourself as a baseline, and it's super awesome to just be photographing the weddings of your friends you just haven't met yet and you meet for the first time on the wedding day. And it's just easy to just kind of blend into that scene. And I feel like you get a lot of referrals too. So it's a good business plan overall. It's a happy business plan, and it'll make you money because you can be completely honest all of the time. It's very easy to create a social presence that is just yourself all of the time, maybe a curated version of yourself, and you figure out what actually gets responses and what. Yeah, there's a lot of elements to it. Thank you for watching. We almost made it. And don't forget, this month, if you're interested in having myself come to your website and or your Instagram and my website, that's fine too, to head over to Patreon and sign up for this specific month, because if you're a member within this month, that's the only time that you're actually going to have access to this deal. It disappears because, quite honestly, the last time I did portfolio reviews, it took me, I forget what the math was, but I think it was like 8 hours of just like sitting there and getting it done. And that was when Patreon was a heck of a lot smaller. That was also more of a public thing, so I made a compilation video and uploaded it and tagged everyone at their time that they were being reviewed at. The way that this is going to work is that it's actually going to be private, so it's going to be a video that only goes to you. So private videos coming to you. Not sketchy private videos, helpful business private videos for you. Thanks for watching today. We're going to end this like a skateboard film, and I'll see you hopefully over on Patreon.